obsessed with compliance. They have a chief compliance officer. They have an inspector general. They have a general counsel's office. The leadership on down reiterates and reinforces the importance of complying with the law and the civil liberties and privacy of Americans. They follow the law when it comes to the collection of information involving U.S. persons. They do not indiscriminately collect information around the world. They serve to protect American lives, and that's what I saw when I served there.
All right, thank you. Let's turn to the issue of dirty bombs, devices that could use radiological material. Could sicken a lot of people, could cause significant psychological and really economic damage on a community. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the Department of Energy's national, I think they have a National Nuclear Security Administration. I believe they're responsible for the security of radiological sources. I think there was a GIO report, I want to say it was about a year ago, maybe September of last year, an audit that revealed that the U.S. medical facilities that house radiological materials still face some challenges securing their supplies from potential theft. And Director Olson, I don't know if you have any thoughts that you could give us, but what is the intelligence community's assessment of the likelihood that Al-Qaeda or one of its affiliates will seek to acquire radiological materials in order to try to make a dirty bomb?
I think what I can say in this setting is that we've seen over time some degree of interest along those lines, but nothing at this point that I would consider to be more than the sort of most basic aspirational type of interest by a terrorist organization. And I'm not familiar with the report that you referenced.
Okay. And Director Comey and Secretary Beers, what roles do your agencies play in preventing terrorists from building and potentially detonating a dirty bomb in the U.S.?
I can probably answer for both of us. We share a responsibility that at the FBI we execute through our Weapons of Mass Destruction Directorate, one of whose responsibilities is to work with DHS to understand what are the potential sources of materials that terrorists could use to harm us, and what are the tripwires we put in place so that we can know if something suspicious is happening around that material.
All right. Secretary Beers.
The only thing that I would add is we do have the ability to at least screen with radiation detectors at our ports of entry. Obviously, it's possible that you could shield that information, but at least it gives us a first order sensor system to try to determine whether or not that information comes into the United States. We've also, through our grants program, help state and local authorities obtain first order radiation detectors so that they can also look for that material within the country. But the key here is that we in the Bureau work together very much on this kind of effort.
Good. We talked a little bit earlier, this is my last question, but a little earlier about travel of terrorist travel, going to a place for a while overseas, and then a place that from which they can freely travel back to the U.S. I would just ask each of you, what are we doing to better track and monitor people traveling to war zones and terrorist safe havens, and then deciding to return to the U.S.?
It's an important question and a matter of significant concern for us, Mr. Chairman. In particular, I'd reference Syria as a place that we're concerned about because of the ongoing conflict there and the presence of extremist elements, including a group connected to Al-Qaeda, such that it has become a place where literally thousands of individuals from other countries have gone to Syria to join in the fight, a number of them to join with al-Nusra, this group that's connected to Al-Qaeda. At NCTC, we work closely with the FBI and DHS to track the travel of any individuals that we've identified as an extremist, and to, if appropriate, place those individuals on the watch list. We maintain the central database of known and suspected terrorists.
Shut up, I'm recording.
Provides a resource for all of our agencies, as well as some of our partners around the world, to identify those individuals and then to do what we can to look for the ways in which they're traveling, the facilitation routes, how they're funded, where they're going and to disrupt their travel if possible, but at least to identify them so if they do return to their home country, and especially obviously the United States, we have a handle on what their activities are.
All right.
Let me add to that. This is truly an integrated effort. We sit together in terms of trying to pull together the lists of individuals that we have identified as potential threats to the United States. We also have a program with particularly our European allies, because of the visa waiver program, to share information that they and we might have nationally with one another in order to add to the database that we have of the individuals who are of concern. We at DHS also support this effort through our travel analysis, looking for people who we don't know might have gone to Syria or might have gone to Syria for nefarious purposes. We have a number of indicators that help us identify individuals who we might want to speak to at ports of entry as they return to the United States. I don't want to go into the details of that because I don't want to give away the way we actually do that, but we have a number of techniques which will allow us to identify somebody who it's not clear in terms of their travel record leaving the United States and coming back that they were anywhere near Syria. But there are other indicators that can give us indications that we might want to talk to those individuals, and that's part of finding the unknowns as opposed to tracking the knowns, which I think we're pretty good at.
Good. Thank you for responding to that question. That's the last question I have, except this is an opportunity for you, if you'd like to each just give a short closing statement, please. And it could be something that's come to mind, something you want to reiterate, something you heard another colleague say that you think is worth emphasizing. Go ahead, please.
Well, Mr. Chairman, first let me just thank you and this committee for holding the hearing, and really for your consistent and steadfast support for the intelligence community and for all of our efforts with respect to protecting the homeland. The one issue I think that comes to mind goes back to Director Comey's opening comments, and that is on the budget. We are struggling, like all other government agencies, to deal with the sequester cuts.
Oh,
This is
you're
a
asking
real
for
issue
money.
that strikes
Reptilians
the
are
core
asking
of
for
our
money.
workforce, and something that I think bears raising in this forum.
So glad to see it. Thank you.
So, but otherwise, I would just offer again to continue to work closely with you and the committee going forward for whatever you need from us as we work together.
Great, thank you. Dr. Comey.
Mr. Chairman, I would just thank you for having
This is-
this hearing. These conversations
the
are critically
Reptilian here.
important to the American
time.
people. They should demand to know how we're doing
Look at
our
that.
jobs and how we're using the power we've been given, and we ought to answer and have those conversations. I shouldn't be doing anything, we shouldn't be doing anything we can't explain.
Holy shit.
Sometimes it has to be in a closed setting so that the bad guys don't know what we're doing, but these conversations are what the founders intended, so thank you.
Oh, wow.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Okay,
Is
we're
that
out.
true?
I certainly
Reptilians
would be
among
remiss
us.
not piling on